A very good morning, welcome. It's Jeff Laughton online at about just after 11 o'clock on Saturday the 9th of August. Well, there's plenty of racing today, including the infamous Shergar Cup, which I'll cover all the races shortly. Just to say, I never actually made it to the races last night at Haydock. What a total farce that was. For me, Haydock usually takes about 40 minutes to get to, but last night I gave up after 3 hours in the car, missing the first three races. And I put that squarely at the feet of the Haydock management. They had Becky Hill on after racing last night, which doesn't mean a great deal to me, but she's obviously very popular with the younger generation. Now, they sold 18,000 tickets, which would have been a tight squeeze at the track anyway, and people who were there say it just wasn't comfortable at all. But the problem is there's only really one way into a Haydock racecourse, so you can either go down the East Lancs Road from Liverpool, or you can go the opposite way up the East Lancs Road from Manchester. And then it meets the M6, so you've got all the traffic coming off the M6. They have to then cross over the East Lancs Road. So all that vast amount of traffic then funnels into a single lane for a mile before turning down a very long single track to enter the racecourse. I literally didn't move for an hour and a half, and anybody who was stuck in that traffic that wasn't on the racecourse, jeez, I feel so sorry for them. Whoever decided to sell 18,000 tickets knowing that all those people would have to get into the racecourse should be castrated this morning. Unless, of course, it was a woman. Anyway, so we ended up wasting a night, and as I was going there specifically to back Respond, it cost me plenty, so Mr. Grumpy's back in action again today. Now, we got 5 meetings, so we'll forget yesterday, we'll move on. I didn't think it was great, to be honest, for a Saturday, but I do think I found a few races to look at. We were very unlucky yesterday on the private service. I put up 3 bets, 2 won, and 1 was beaten a short head, literally on the line. I got 3 bets today on the private service. If you are interested in joining or inquiring, then drop me an email at the email address below, jefflawtonmanagement@gmail.com. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, please do that. Then you'll get to know when I put these videos up. Now let's start at Haydock in the 3 o'clock, the Group 3 Rose of Lancaster Stakes. Now this is a very open race. The front 4 in the market all have something to recommend them. But the 2 strongest messages in the race for me are Detained, trained by the Gosdens, and Military Order, trained by Charlie Appleby. Both yards are very strong and tell me they will win this race. But personally, I just favour Military Order, and I had a bit on him this morning at 9-2. In the 4:45, Tropical Heat of Clive Cox is on a sharp upward curve. After being allowed to race prominently in her last 2 starts, total change of tactics, and it seems to have worked. She's perfectly berthed in stall 1 for that today, and despite a £5 rise, ought to be able to go in again. At Newmarket, in the 1:55, Ballistic Missile returns after flopping in the Coventry Stakes at Royal Ascot in June. He subsequently had a wind up, and he's quite well thought of. If he's able to run to anywhere near what he achieved at York on debut, he should be difficult to beat here. In the 2:32, this is a very warm 2-year-old race with 6 debutants, and the first 4 in the market all coming from top yards. The Crisford horse Xanthos has been very well backed. Now, he cost a cool €1 million at the Breeze Up sales, and he's the best 2-year-old they have in that yard. But with strong messages for the other 3 at the head of the market, this is not going to be a 1-horse race, and it's probably better to watch and learn rather than guess and lose your money. Let's go to the dreaded Shergar Cup at Ascot. Now, these races look ultra competitive, ridden by jockeys who have never ridden around this track. It's going to be carnage, make no mistake. But in the 3:55, I do like the way that Tenability is progressing. He won over this course and distance 2 weeks ago, and although he's gone up £7 for that, he should take that in his stride. He's ridden by French jockey Delphine Santiago, who's ridden 700 winners so far, so she should be reasonably competent, he says optimistically. Had Tom Marquand been aboard, I would have been very confident. At Lingfield this evening, the 5:47, Venezuelan, ability-wise, is much the best horse here. However, his will to win is very, very questionable, and I wouldn't want to be taking even money or less on a horse as unpredictable as this. In the 652, Just a Girl of Charlie Johnson's has by far the best form in this race and was a very good second last time to Darnay of Dandy. And the way that horse destroyed a field at Thirsk yesterday suggests he ought to be winning this. But there has been very good money for Owen Burrows' Bessonniere. Now, he finished 8th of 9 in a race at Doncaster on his debut when he was beaten over 8 lengths. He would have had to improve plenty for that, but I do have the utmost respect for his trainer, and he's well drawn against the rails. However, on my figures, he's plenty to find, and I thought Just a Girl would take the beating. So I'll leave that there. I'll speak to you on Monday, and many thanks for dropping by.